All right. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, May 7th Board of Public Works and Utilities meeting. Starting with roll call, Mayor Smith.
Here.
Alder Dan Stevens is excused. His alternate Larry Jurassic.
Present.
Sabrina Steger.
Here.
Jared Holter.
Here.
And myself, Alder Steve Knott, am present. Consideration action on the minutes from previous meeting is our next agenda item. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second. Motion to approve, made by Larry Jurassic, seconded by myself. Although, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Item number 3 is public input. Anyone wishing to provide public input will be limited to 3 minutes. Please identify yourself by name and address. First call. Second call. Anyone else online? Third and final call. Public input is closed. Next item is the election of officers for the next year. Starting with the chair. Do I have any?
I nominate Stephen Knott as chair.
Second.
Okay, nominated myself as chair by Mayor Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. I will accept that nomination. Any other nominations for chair? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next is the nominations for a vice chair, and I'd like to nominate Sabrina Steger.
Second.
Nomination for Sabrina Steger as vice chair, seconded by myself, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Would you accept?
Yes.
Okay,
I would like to nominate Dan Stevens. Normally, we don't have staff also have a position.
is it prohibited?
It's not prohibited, no.
All right, do we have a second for that nomination?
I'll second the nomination.
Okay. All right, nomination for Dan Stevens by Mayor Smith, seconded by Jared Holter. And again, we'll have to assume Dan would assume that. He's not here to accept.
I've been
Chair.
elected chair without having been
No, that's fine. I'm just,
at a meeting
Yes.
before.
Something.
I'm
Chair-
sorry. I did not recognize Dan that you, or Diane, that you were even here when I did the roll. I'm sorry. Diane Wolf is on online with the telephone. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Chair. I would just note for the record, I certainly, as a prior member of Board of Public Works, I certainly would not personally object to our finance director being chair of Board of Public Works. But please note the optics if the chair is not available for capital improvements. It doesn't look good to the public to have our finance director running the meeting, in my opinion. At least it's never been done, and I think it's just a matter of optics. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else from anybody? I guess
Just do voting by roll call,
voting by
probably.
roll call, yeah. So we'll start Mayor Smith.
I'll vote for Dan Stevens.
Myself, I'll do Sabrina. Larry Jurassic
Rena.
and Jared Holter.
Dan Stevens.
Okay,
This is not fair.
I will,
You pigeonholed me last. Well, they still have, you each have a vote.
well, they did. Oh, Sabrina gets the vote. Yeah, I'm sorry, I skipped Sabrina. Yeah, she does get a vote.
I will vote for Dan Stevens
Okay.
for the reasons that Diane Wolf.
Okay, that's
I'll do
fine.
that
Yeah, no, I was getting ready to switch off too. I was gonna have this go on forever. Okay, that's fine. So, simple majority does take this, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that said, Dan Stevens is the vice chair. All right. Next order of on the agenda is the future meeting timeline. Currently, we're scheduled for 6:30 p.m. on the first Tuesday of each month. Is there anyone who wanted to start discussion on this, or would you like me to? All right, I'll start it. So questions we have that came up, I guess, very briefly in the past, I think it was a common council meeting, was, can we go earlier on some of our meetings? Is there anyone, again, Dan's not here to tell us what his schedule is, so it'd be real dangerous to go super early right now. We can always pick
Well-
it up again later.
He normally works until 5.
So-
And I think that he has, I mean, his concern is Tuesday nights, he has a conflict with the music in the park, which
So,
is a later event.
oh, it's later, so he does want to go earlier. Okay.
I don't want to speak for him.
I have no problem going
I
early.
guess that was gonna be my ask. If he does have that, would a 4 o'clock work? I mean, we do room tax and joint municipal court earlier in the day. If that worked for him, I mean, if it worked for everybody, obviously staff, it works for us because we're here, but we really have to make sure it works
till 5,
for,
His normal work schedule is until 5. I do know that. I don't know. I
Sounds like
can't speak for his flexibility.
5:30 might be reasonably the earliest we could, I could do 4, but I mean,
I could do
Yeah.
4.
but if he can't, and you know, that he can't, I mean, he's got to work. So, I'm thinking maybe 5:30 for now might be the earliest, and there's no reason we couldn't put this on as an agenda item later if he's willing to go earlier, right?
Well, I think they want to print out finalize those handbooks with the meeting schedules
Okay.
and whatnot.
Sabrina?
could we, push it to council and get his feedback and make the time
That's a great, that's
at
a
the
good idea.
meeting?
Yeah, so I mean, I think 4 o'clock would be fine with me. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
You know, if we're just kind of taking a poll of the people in the room to get a faster decision once we have input from Dan.
Okay.
So is that true of everyone here that 4 o'clock would be ideal? But any amount or
I'm flexible on
earlier would
Tuesday.
be.
I'm
better.
drafted, so I don't have.
Well, would you not be, as alternate, would you not be able to make it if it was at 4?
My schedule's right now in flux.
Okay.
That's because of new job and everything like that, and it depends on how many people purchased a unit, and then I'd work, but
Well, I'm totally flexible, you know, and I told you I was having to call in to common council.
Yep.
Like, if for some reason I'm not getting through, I know I don't get a vote, but you can let people know I'm good as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
So I'll put it as a regular agenda item on the council agenda then under Board of Public Works. So it can be
Yeah,
discussed.
on the
in
non-consent,
decision
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe you could even put it like move the meeting time to 4, like that's what we're gonna do unless Dan says something else
Okay,
and then,
so we'll make a motion and then put it on the non-consent. I think we could do that.
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, we understand.
All right, I'll make a motion that we move the Board of Public Works meetings to 4 PM on the first Tuesday of every month.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
And do we want that on the regular agenda?
Yeah, no, this will have to be on the non-consent agenda. Yes. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And again, that will be on the non-consent agenda for next week. All right, next is the 2024 City Hall Masonry Repairs bid. We just got those figures handed to us right before the meeting, although you do have some information in your packet as well. So Kevin or Jared, who wants to take this?
I can start and get this going. Kevin's been working on the City Hall masonry repair bid. We did have 4 bidders that were responsive today. We did have a 5th bidder that did not get their bid in on time. We have a couple of local firms and a couple of firms from out of the city. As you can see, Market and Johnson and Fowler Hammer were very competitive on the cost, within a few $100 of one another. All of them did attend the pre-bid meeting and were qualified to bid, and they did acknowledge the addenda for the project. So staff's recommending Market and Johnson in the amount of $59,483. Also to note on this project, we will have approximately $20,000 of work done by on the roof by Lediger Roofing and as part of the project to maintain the roof warranty and get the roof out of the way so the masonry repairs can be made. We did have 200,000 budgeted for this project, but we are starting in a small scale, small steps to see a couple things to ensure that we're getting the correct repair and making sure it's going to work, and then kind of working it out from there. So with that, if Kevin's got anything to add?
you're talking phases then on the work? Different phases for your work?
Correct. This is be phase 1 of the work. We will be having other other phases of the work.
Do you have
Are
anything
you
to add?
estimating those phases to be about the same price range or?
We'd have to see, so these prices here in the bid sheet, the repairs range from $300 a square foot to about a little over $500 a square foot. I had it bidded. There was some different varieties. There was a mobilization item in there, so some of them played around. But I would say to repair the masonry going forward, it's probably going to be $400 or $500 a square foot on the face of the building. To repair it, when we had the original stuff here, even for capital improvements, the 200,000 wouldn't repair all the masonry that we have to repair. It was just a start. When I got into design and talking with Brian Babish, our facilities manager, we wanted to start small, right? We didn't want to open City Hall up and figure out, hey, this isn't going to work or the repair is not going to work. So we picked 2 small areas this year to start. We also learned in this process, we're going to have to factor in that we have to pull the roof back every time we do this. So we're going to have additional contracts with Lediger. So it's just sort of getting the start here. The repairs and the maintenance, I should say, to the City Hall building was always going to be a multiple year endeavor, even with the monies we had from capital. So we're just taking it a little slower on there. We want to make sure we get the process right, that when we get done with the repair, had Jared said, it does not leak. That way we could move the process that we're doing to other locations. So we wanted to start small, not open so much up and realize that, either the repair that we're doing doesn't fix, or there potentially is a bigger problem behind the wall than we're aware of.
Okay, I don't.
You're saying for the 60,000 right now, we're looking
We
at
have a motion on the
for phase 1, but you said there's also could be roof repairs and everything like that. So is that could be another, what, 20,000?
Right, yes, that's what Jared said there, Larry. The bid was 60,000 that we're approving tonight. The other part of this is we have to pull the roof, the rubber roof that
Right.
got on 3, we have to pull that back. So we're hiring the contractor of record on the warranty, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
the roof did come with a 20-year warranty. So
Right.
they're the contractor of record. They're going to pull it back. When they're done with their work, the company that insures the warranty will come back, have another inspection of the areas they repaired and say, yes, the warranty still stands. So there's multiple things going on here. Probably the biggest thing here on this is just, we just want to start small. We want to know we can fix it, know we can maintain it. And then after that, we do have other locations that were identified through our building envelope study as we go about the process of maintaining City Hall the next couple of years in various projects like this.
Thank you, Mayor. Or Steve.
Okay, I just think we need to get a motion on the floor. So I'll make a motion to award the bid to Market and Johnson in the amount of $59,483 for the 2024 City Hall masonry repairs.
And I'll second that. Under discussion, I do have a question. Did we score these contractors at all?
No, this was a bidded, open bid project.
Lowest responsible.
Lowest
bidder.
responsive bidder on this one. This was a regular.
Okay, I just saw
Construction
like only a
projects.
$267 difference. I was wondering if
Yeah.
they'd scored it any
Nope.
differently, but you didn't
Nope.
score, so we're good. Okay.
Down to the penny, Steve.
Okay, yes.
The only other thing I'd say is that the 2 areas that we are repairing are probably the 2 worst areas that we have for intrusion of moisture. So we are prioritizing and triaging kind of the project to try and go to the worst areas first. So
Good.
Yes, and with water damage, this is, water and smoke are the 2 worst things that can happen to a structure, so this needs to be done for sure.
The worst this afternoon.
Any other discussion or questions? All right, we have a motion by Mayor Smith, seconded by myself to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7 on the agenda is professional engineering services for Sand Lake Road, US Highway 53 Regional Pond Hydrology Analysis. Jared.
thank you. In your packet tonight, there is the consultant selection summary for this project, the Sand Lake Road US Highway 53 Regional Pond Hydrology Analysis. This is what we refer to internally as the Menards Pond. In your packet tonight, you can see the scoring. We did have Strand score the highest at 284 points, MSA at 265, and SEH at 266. We did have 3 of us on city staff do the scoring. When you do look at the fees, you can see that there's a variety of fees there, with MSA as the lowest fee, Strand and then SEH. One of the things we also do as part of these consultant analysis and submittals as we asked them for how many hours they anticipate the work to be performed in. And if you look down, you'll see Strand is at 350, SEH is at 308, and MSA is at 186. In reviewing the submittals that were provided, staff, and you can see by the scoring, staff thought the best analysis was by Strand Associates. One of the things I like about their analysis, you know, they have done a variety of our stormwater work previously. They did seem to have a very thorough approach. The one thing with the MSA approach, they did not highlight a whole lot. The submittal that'll have to be done given to the traditional trades for the flood mapping, FEMA mapping to be changed. We did have 125,000 in capital improvements budget, but part of that also is for design of the project once we get this hydrology analysis on how designing the water over. So when I looked at these, I really felt that Strand Associates was the best service to the city, gave us the best thoroughness of the product, and as staff, we're recommending Strand Associates for 58,000 with the 350 hours of work to do the project.
Okay,
We'll go ahead and make a motion to award that to Strand for $58,000.
I'll second.
a motion to approve Strand for $58,000 for the pond hydrology analysis by Mayor Smith, seconded by Sabrina Steger. Any discussion? Larry?
Thank you, Chair. The question I have is the hours. Got 350 on here compared to 308. Is there that big of a job difference or?
The 350 and the 308, I don't view as a large difference. The 186
Yeah,
by
that's what
MS
that's what
by
I'd like to see.
MSA. That, I think just that they've scoped out for the project and talking, all the consultants talked to us as staff to look at the project. They really looked at it as a very simple project that they could get done in expeditious fashion, but I don't. The other two consultants had proposed a different hydrology model to use than MSA. I think that's part of it. I think part of it is the just the product that I think they're going to deliver and the time put into it. So the hourly price is very close. SCH had a highest hourly price. Strand and MSA were within a few dollars of one another. So I think we're getting what, it's not, even though it's more money, it's not a higher hourly price. It's because we're getting more hours.
Fair.
Thank you, Chair.
What was the budgeted amount?
We had 125,000 in the capital improvements budget, but we didn't have a specific dollar amount set aside for this as far as just the design. I personally thought the design was going to come in somewhere between 75 and 100. I thought that's where it was going to come in, but as you can see, I was wrong.
So this will be the design phase. What year are we projecting the actual work?
So this will be the hydrology analysis, tell us how much water is coming to the site. So that way then we can use that. So we're hoping to have this done in December of this year, January of 25. Then we'll move into a design phase where we'll actually design the conveyance system to get the water under Sand Lake Road and then get a pipe to the traditional trade site. And also then dig out the pond. So the pond will be dug out so it's all one level. Right now it's a tiered
Mhm.
pond. So it'll be dug out to one level, and then hopefully as part of this, we are also going to, as part of this analysis, they're going to come up with some proposed solutions to increase our stormwater quality for that pond. Right now, we're not getting any credit in our stormwater analysis for TSS removal. So hopefully we can get a solution where we can gain on that with this going in. So this is almost like the pre-phase of the design. So then hopefully in 25, we'll come back with a proposal to have a design services to design the work. And then hopefully 26, 27, some 26, late 26, we'll bid it out and actually construct a project.
And didn't we purchase property in this area as
We-
part of this project too?
We owned
For
we
future
owned
project?
the Menards Pond area, the deeper pond. We purchased about 6 acres, the higher tiered pond from the DOT in 20, we finalized it at about 16, yeah.
Doesn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah.
Is that area E on the map?
That is, yes, area E, right where the E is where the pond is.
It's
on
for the
map.
ramp, right?
Correct.
Sabrina.
So when we do start infrastructure out there, would that get charged to the TIF then?
It'll all be TID expenses. So part of the construction phase will be doing an analysis with either the help of Ellers or we'll do it internally to ensure we've got enough TIF revenue coming in to pay for the project. We will probably, we'll know more once we get closer and we get an actual design project and project estimate, whether we will have to do some short-term borrowing to get over the hump with the monies coming in. Looking at the TIF analysis with what they've got for development and taxable increment in that TIF, I think we're going to be bringing in enough increment that we'll be able to cover the construction costs. I think it will be, it'll be good once we get there, but we'll have another 2 years of data when we get actually to construction.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I look at this, I mean, the lowest cost, how do you make a determination on cost? I mean, there's total cost, and in this case, cost per hour, the cheapest one is actually Strand. Not by a lot, but they are cheaper per hour. And the question is, with our water, do we want to have a more, I don't know if I say thorough, I'm not going to say that the other contractors wouldn't be thorough, but maybe a more detailed analysis with a little bit more deep dive or not. I mean, it sounds like it's the wise choice for me. And their history with us also shows that they've done pretty well, it sounds like, so. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those, any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, motion passes. Item number 8, change order number 1 for the 2023 Fire Bay Floor Repair Project. Back to Jared.
In your packet tonight, we do have the proposed change order number 1. We did authorize this work. So this change order is for, in the original scoping of the floor project where mainly it was for the drains to get repaired. The estimate quantity did not have the epoxy flooring going into what I call their mechanics bay, kind of their secondary bay in the apparatus bay, and didn't also extend all the way to where the epoxy flooring is down by the room they have with the control, the room, dispatch room, that's what we're looking for, to the dispatch room. So it would have looked really funny to have done 3/4 of the floor and not done the whole floor. So we, and they're actually working, they've actually got the floor started and half of it done over there now. So we thought that was the best way to go. We did confer with the city administrator, talked to Sabrina. This will be paid for using, the change order will be approved, or if approved, well, would be paid for with the ARPA funding that we have saved on other projects. So, I don't know, Kevin, if you got anything. Kevin's been over there every day looking at the it looks very good. It's turning out very good. So I think it'll be a good product when we're done.
I move that we approve change order number 1 for the amount of $11,330.04.
I'll second.
Move to approve by Mayor Smith, seconded by Sabrina Steer. Any discussion? Hearing none. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead,
just-
Sabrina.
I was just going to add, so part of this project was, the original 10,000 was budgeted for with ARPA dollars. And then in 2023, we budgeted for more towards this, just with the CIP. So we did bond for some of this. And then this additional 11,000, likely next month, I'll come forward with where we're at in regards to ARPA funds and what we kind of have left to obligate before the end of the year. So this would be using some of those leftover dollars. So just a little extra explanation on that.
So this isn't the last we're going to hear of this.
No.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're on item number 9, Midwest Drive Reconstruction Project.
In your packet tonight, I have included a schedule that was given to us by the contractor for this project. They are scheduled to start construction next week on Monday. Kevin, have you heard anything? Still what we're having. So With that, the just alerting everyone to that. We've sent out letters. Kevin's gonna make door-to-door visits with certain businesses right on the project. The project will be until August that it'll be completed, but that project will be a traffic alterations out there with the fact we'll have one-way traffic. So during half the project, it's gonna be one way, and then the other half the project will be reversed to the other direction. So there will be a little bit of a heartache out there with some of the businesses. It'll be tougher to get to them. So we are asking for patience during the project and things like that. So the contractors, McCabe Construction, they have worked in town for us before. This is a DOT-led project, so we will have involvement, but the Wisconsin DOT will be administering the actual contract and running the project. So just
Okay.
an information item.
Roger that. Yes, Mayor.
I have two questions. So will both lanes of traffic be pushed to one side, or will be, for a while you can go one way and then halfway through you can go the other?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, people adjust to it, right? So will there be any like media public service announcements beyond the letters?
So we put out message boards yesterday on the project. So we'll have our message boards out, and then we put out a letter to the people around, and then I think we're putting we had press release. Yeah.
later This week, Mary, I just haven't
Yeah.
got.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
We do have the pre-construction meeting is Thursday, so I just wanted to verify the start date.
Yeah.
So I could have that in the press release. I'm confident, but I just want to vary it down. So we'll probably have something coming out late Thursday afternoon, I would assume, as a press release for this project.
Have you shared the time for the pre-construction meeting? I mean, can I be there?
It's, you could, Steve, it's a virtual meeting. I could send you. the
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, I wouldn't talk. I'd just be there for information. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Sabrina.
My only question is, and I should have asked you this earlier, Jared, so I apologize. Is the Theater Road roundabout going to be going on this summer too?
No, we've
Oh,
actually got
that's-
the Theater Road roundabout and the traffic signal at East Main Street are slated for 2025.
Okay.
And so we
Okay.
we actually
thought so.
seeing some synergy with those two projects too, being we're hoping that if they both get approved in next year's capital improvement budget, they would have synergy and we could close down at the same, we're hoping to try and have some mutual benefits there, but both those projects will be next year.
Okay, thank you.
Larry?
Yeah, but will entities like the hotel be able to have egress
Yeah.
in the whole time? Because that's cutting off their business.
Well, yeah, we'll maintain egress for everyone. There will be times where we're actually digging in front of the driveway, putting new base rock in. There might be
Okay.
15 or 20 minutes where it just isn't gonna happen for 15 minutes, but everyone will have egress. It's just gonna be, if you're coming in during the project where the traffic's coming from East Main, from Home Depot, and you're trying to get to the hotel, you're gonna have to go up to Theater Road and back around. So it's gonna be confusing for people from out of town, but
Right.
we're
Yeah, so this is a state project where usually it's very common when we have construction, especially major construction, that we will have calls. This will be a different one. Obviously, this will affect third district, but I would argue it would affect everybody. So we'll probably get, all alders may get calls on this one. And the bottom line is it's a state project. It has to get done. And by mid-August, it should be over.
And we need to get used to it because next year it's gonna be worse.
So, yeah. Okay, thank you for the update. Next is item number 10, Brightspeed fiber build within the city of Onalaska. Back to Jared.
I wanted to alert the board, Kevin's been working on, meetings with Brightspeed, which used to be CenturyTel, CenturyLink, Lumen, variety of names over the last, 10 years. They will be using their current, facilities and replacing them with a fiber project. If you look in the map on page 18 of your packet tonight, you can see the red and green depicting the areas that they will be performing the work in the city. It's mainly west of US 53, 157. With that, the pink will be overhead and the green will be underground facility replacements. This is the third provider to come into our city to do construction work. So, if there are areas that have seen both of the two contractors previously, there will be some residents that are getting a little disgruntled with the third time, but there won't be, not every area of the city is going to have three providers. So once again, we'll be issuing permits, and Kevin will be kind of riding herd on them a little bit, but just for information mainly. But we will be issuing the permits as they come in, just as a note.
Was the red,
Sorry.
the ground,
Red's underground or
Underground.
overhead.
Red is overhead,
Red's
green is
their
ground.
aerial
overhead?
plant,
Okay.
the traditional older part of the city, and as you go farther north, they're expecting that to be underground is what they're currently showing now. Right, Brightspeed has taken over CenturyLink stuff, so a lot of this is more replacement, right? Using the same route, same conduit. This is more of a replacing their facilities and maybe a new telecom agency to the city. Right, this is more of an updating their current infrastructure.
So just, again, this is the third company to be doing this in the last 2 years. And overall, it's a great deal because it looks like when this is done, the entire city will have at least 2 high-speed internet provider options. So that's competition. Some may even have 3. So that's a good news for anyone who has Wi-Fi in their house, which is probably over 90% of the people. It does cause concerns among the citizenry with doing the directional boring because there will be some properties affected by this in the boulevard. All right. So expect calls, but just, I guess, talking to Jared and Kevin here too, in the past, all the complaints I've received have come basically in 2 categories. One is the notification process, and 2 is in the lawn mediation or remediation piece from when they could put the bore in. So just ask, obviously, I'm sure you'll be on top of it, but every one of the calls I've received in the past has been one of those 2 categories. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Next is pay estimates. We do have an adjusted pay estimate with now
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, I just want to point out a couple of things in the pay estimate that we handed out tonight. The first one is under number 1. The do this estimate had a wrong amount in the one in the packet, so it should be corrected on the to $2,730.49. We did add number 9 dynamic concrete for the floor repairs. And Kevin, did you want to talk about corals, number 6?
Yeah, just so it's on the record, number 6, so we don't have to pre-approve that. That is for the Franklin Street Lift Station project as part of the Clean Water Fund loan. So when we approve that one tonight, I will then put it into disbursement number 2 request to receive funding from that. So just trying to say it like this instead of having to add another agenda item to do that. So it's on the record. That one will be added into disbursement number 2, which the mayor would sign after council on Tuesday.
I move we approve the pay estimates as presented to us on the May 7th spreadsheet. There are 9.
Second. Motion to approve the pay estimates by Mayor Smith, seconded by myself, Steve Knott. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. That moves us on to the utilities portion of the agenda, which there is no report, which brings us to the final agenda item, adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Sabrina Steger, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Hey.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Time is 7:04.